Hello again, everybody. It's Takedown Wrestling. Scott Casper with you, coast to coast, border to border. And yeah, we're going to stop this time on the West Coast to talk to the once Strikeforce Heavyweight Grand Prix champ and the new face of the light heavyweight division for the UFC. It's Daniel Cormier. DC, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good, Scott. Just hanging out, man. Just got back from Louisiana Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Back home now and about to start training again.
Ultimate Fighting Championship has served you well. Dana White is taking notice. A minute 19 is all it took for you to dispatch the mouthy one, Patrick Cummings. Nice job stepping up and taking the fight, but he didn't really put up too much of an offense.
You know what? He did me a favor because he didn't. I cut a lot of. I lost a lot of weight by dieting, and I was very committed. So it was great to actually get the competition in. So I appreciate Pat for that. I didn't appreciate Pat bringing old stories from the wrestling room into the UFC spotlight. That was actually kind of bad.
Well, you and I both know guys like Kevin Jackson, Zeke Jones, Steve Frazier. I mean, I talked to Steve Frazier just 2 nights ago, and we talked about that. You don't bring that stuff up.
No, you don't. It's for the people who were in that room on that day and saw that happen. That's for those guys. Those memories are for those guys. And you know what? It's not out of the question to talk about those things between those individuals. But when you start bringing it into, I mean, we were on national television on Fox Sports One, and
That's
you
right.
know we ended up getting to talking about that stuff.
Daniel, hit your camera for me one more time. Looks like your camera's switched off.
Okay, hold on.
There
Got
you
it.
are.
All
Yeah,
right.
now you look. See, you look good, dude. And maybe a year ago I would have turned your camera off, but all right, let's talk about it, man. The World Cup is coming to America, and you have been named the honorary captain of Team USA Freestyle. Talk to me about that. Emotional, or what can you say?
I mean, it was a big deal. You know, I get the call from Jim Ravanack, who's long been one of my mentors in the sport of wrestling, and actually just in life. And he goes, "We want to offer you, you know, the opportunity to be the honorary team captain of the World Cup team." And it was it was it was very satisfying because not only is it a great honor to be the captain, honorary captain of this team. I can't sit here and say that I haven't spoken to people in the wrestling world since 2008 because that would be a lie. I've had relationships with Zeke Jones and Kevin Jackson, all my friends and everybody else, John Smith, Rich Bender. But this is the first public. It's almost like a public forgiveness for what happened in 2008, which I've been, uh, you know, I've always been very saddened by the events in '08 and very apologetic and this is like saying, you know, Daniel, we, you know, everybody's moved on and you're part of the family, and that's a huge deal for me.
Dude, you've always been a part of the family. There's more people out there that are your fans than are not by a long shot. I mean, you've done wonders for the U.S. effort. Not only a freestyle Olympic team trials winner, FILA senior freestyle world teams trials winner, trials runner up. You've got such an incredible pedigree. And really, it goes back to how you were brought up as a high school state champ, and then what John Smith did for you after leaving Colby, what you did at Oklahoma State. I mean, your pedigree is strong, and there should be no shame on anybody's part. I think this is a great honor for everybody to have you re-involved with the sport.
That's awesome, man. You know, and I've always tried to stay close to the sport of wrestling. You know, it's a sport that made me. So during the Save Olympic Wrestling effort, you know, we tried everything we could to help from the wrestlers that have fought in the UFC standpoint to just doing anything I could, you know, to try and help get wrestling back in the Olympic Games. And it's back. I'm not taking any credit for it, but I think as a collective unit, we all did what we needed to do, meaning every wrestler around the country and around the world to get the sport added back to the Olympic program.
I know Zeke Jones is pleased that you'll be in LA as part of the team and fans. Here's an opportunity for you to join Daniel Cormier. I know he is as approachable as my own brother, but in team sports, this is one of the most approachable sports of all, where you can walk up and talk to the Daniel Cormiers, the Randy Couture's, Matt Lindlands, or whoever, not just to sign autographs, but to talk about the sport they all love. DC, it's deep, isn't it?
Yeah, man, it's embedded in you. Wrestling's a sport that lives in you, and from the moment, I mean, from the moment you started, I see people that I wrestled with in junior high, and I remember them being in the wrestling room with me. All my college teammates. I may not see Mark Munoz for years, but every time we see each other, it's like we're right back on the same page. You know, it's like it's something about going through the hard work and going through the grind with these guys that ties you together forever. So, yeah, man. And you know what? Come up to me, talk to me, hold a conversation. You know, I would much rather have people actually hold a conversation and talk to me than not ask for an autograph or a picture. I want to be your friend. I want to be the guy that you come up to and speak to and gain something from, and I take something from you. You know, maybe you add to my wrestling knowledge or to knowledge in life something. I want to take something from you as I hope to give something to you through our conversations.
You and I have shared some emotional moments. I remember a number of years ago when you lost your daughter, and I think I was the first one to interview with you after that moment in your life, and it was emotional. But you found strength in it, didn't you?
Yeah, you know, a lot of times people deal with loss differently. I've used it as motivation, and now it still drives me to this day. You know, even though it was over 10 years ago. Um, you know, Scott, I've told this story before, and I think the most telling thing about my daughter, my angel, Kaden, was that when she was a baby, we would ride like she would cry when I was with her. So I would put her in the car and we would drive around listening to Heather Headley. I wish I wasn't, and it would soothe her. For some reason, this lady's voice really did soothe my daughter. When Selena and I had our son Daniel, it was raining as we were leaving the hospital, and it was scary because it was our first boy, and we were very worried about him. And you know, we're driving in the car, and that song came on, and it was almost like she was telling us, you know, he's gonna be okay. You know, don't worry, because we were both so worried. And then I look over at Selena, and she's just crying because she understood just as I did that we do have an angel watching over us and our children.
You know, it's a great way to look at it, and you're right. I think you know, we all do deal with it differently. I see somebody significant in the
Yeah, that's
background there.
Selena in the back of the boy. I'm not sure
What's
she would
up,
actually
Selena?
want to be on Skype right now. You just walked in the interview, and she's like, "Oh my God."
Let me ask you a question. Does she know you're 14-0, and does she care?
She doesn't care one bit that I win all these fights and that she doesn't care about any of that stuff, man. She's still trying to get me to take the garbage out
That's
all the
right. You're
time.
34 years old, man. You're heading to a championship of the world, and yet you got to still take out your own trash, and that's
Take
okay,
out the
man. That's
trash, take out the trash, feed the kids. Oh man, she doesn't. It does not matter one bit.
as much as the world may be impressed with how you make a living and what you're doing now. I mean, you go back to the point where you know, how you held yourself up over the years in wrestling, and that may be, you know, the biggest tale of the tape. You look at guys like Jordan Burroughs right now, who just finished a 67 match win streak. Well, you take a look at the 6 to 8 years you were competing in a world championship or an Olympic game on a consistent basis for Team USA, and I think there's some parallels to be drawn there, aren't there?
Yeah, I mean, it's a story of continued success. Um, and it's not because of me. It's because of the people that I surround myself with that drive me and that motivate me to try and be the best that I can be. You know, when I look back at my wrestling career, I didn't win the big one, and you know what? I can honestly say that in 2004, I wasn't good enough. I could not beat Hidari. I wasn't good enough to beat Gasalov. And every time I lost in these championships, these guys were better. I mean, these are great wrestlers around this world, and I would train hard and I would really give myself the best opportunity to win. It wasn't in the cards, but because of the people around me, I always had a chance. The Kevin Jacksons, the Tom Brands, the Terry Brands, the John Smith, Jamil Kelly, Eric Guerrero, Teague Moore, all my friends and teammates that Mola Wall that train with me on a daily basis and push me. They always gave us the best opportunity to win. So even though I fell short, uh, I always gave myself the best chance by surrounding myself with the best people. And now I'm doing the same thing in mixed martial arts. And maybe my journey in wrestling ended the way it did so that I can actually and take on this part of my life, mixed martial arts. Because if I would have went to the Olympic Games and got a medal and did well, I don't even know if I would have fought. So everything happens for a reason.
We're talking with DC Daniel Cormier. He is going to win a title in the UFC. Mark my words. I've known this man, and very, very little will stop him. If you followed what happened recently, he knocked out his opponent, another former wrestler. Let's give credit where credit's due. Penn State wrestler Patrick Cummins, who was working at a coffee shop when he took the call, and answered it, by the way, for UFC 170, allowing that fight to happen. Otherwise, it would have been off, and all that work that you'd put into the prep would have been down the drain. But it was February 22nd when you put an end to his rambling mouth at a minute 19. And it was your light heavyweight debut. The UFC, have they given you any indication when your next fight will be, or who it will be against, and when you might get a title shot?
You know what, man? I'm hoping for a title shot, but a lot of it depends on what happens this weekend. You know, the UFC's launching their Fight Pass, and Alexander Gustafsson is fighting Jimmy Manuwa. If Alexander wins, he will get a rematch against John Jones. But if he loses, so I'm sitting here with my fingers crossed that Jimmy Manuwa can get this done, I will fight for the championship this year. If not, it looks like I'm going to fight the winner out of Phil Davis and Anthony Rumble Johnson. So I'm hoping Manuwa can get this done this weekend, and I get to fight for the title sometime this year.
Most people think that fighters or wrestlers all pal around, especially guys that went to college together. Johnny Hendricks, okay, the Big Rig or the Happy Beard Man or whatever you want to nickname him, the most hated man in college wrestling back in the day. You know, Johnny's a wonderful fighter and a great guy, good dad. What's your relationship like with Johnny now in the UFC?
You know what, man? I speak to Johnny every time, and it's something that connects us. You know, I know Johnny from when he was a freshman going into Oklahoma State, because I was actually still wrestling and helping out Coach there. So when I see Johnny, it's like no time has passed between us. I don't really speak to him on the phone or anything, but again, it's one of those relationships where every time we're in the same area, we hang out. You know, we talk, and when he fights, I get emotional. You know, and watching him get ready to fight George St. Pierre last time, I felt this sense of nervousness, happiness for Johnny and his family. You know, his dad and his mom and everybody else, and then he lost a heartbreaking fight where I thought he won the fight. But you know what, man? He ended up getting George St. Pierre steps away from the sport. Johnny gets an immediate title shot against Robbie Lawler, and I can almost assure you that in the next month, Johnny Hendricks will be the UFC welterweight champion. All those things that made Johnny so disliked in wrestling makes him one of the most popular guys in the UFC right now.
Yeah, but you know what? You and I know Johnny differently. That may be that public persona. As we gave him that nickname, most hated man in college wrestling, the guys on Takedown. But we didn't, you know, we knew him and we didn't believe that. He's one of the kindest guys, one of the best interviews. And he just kind of bucked up a little bit, bowed up a little bit, you know, when he heard that. It's kind of like, you know, Ben Askren and that funk that he had at Missouri, you know. All right, so again, DC, I don't want to beat a dead horse. Let's talk about this cup. Invite your fans, if you will. Go out on that limb and tell them all about what this means to you and why you're going to be there.
Well, it just means a ton to me to go out and watch our guys compete against the best wrestlers in the world. This is honestly the strongest World Cup team we've put together in a real long time. So I know that USA Wrestling, we're trying to win this thing. I'm excited to go and see how we do. Iran sending their best. Russia sending their best, and they're selling a lot of tickets. The Iranian fans are buying these tickets. The Russian fans are buying these tickets. We need to go out and buy these tickets so that we as Americans can be heard whenever our boys step on the mat. It's a big deal. We need to win the World Cup on our home soil. I'm going to be there. I'm excited about it. You guys need to be there. Come out, spend some time with me over the course of 2 days and watch some amazing wrestling.
He's a World Cup silver medalist in 2005 in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. Let's bring it up, brother. Where is it at right now? Where is that medal from the World Cup?
It's at my mom's house, man. She has almost every one of my medals, and she does not get rid of them. She has my World Championship medal from the Cadet World Championships when I was 16 years old.
Last time we held this event in the U.S., I believe, Boise, Idaho in 2003. Well, this time Daniel Cormier is going to be in the house as one of our coaches, and we couldn't have a stronger corner indeed for Team USA. And it's going to be a dual meet format, so it's going to be very reminiscent of the collegiate style. You like that, don't you?
I do. I really look forward to watching our guys compete over and over again. The thing with tournaments is if someone loses, they're done. You know, you got to rely on somebody else to pull you through. In this format, we're going to get to see Jordan Burroughs wrestle 5 times. We're going to get to see Tervel Delagna wrestle 5 times. We're going to get to see Brett Metcalf wrestle 5 times. We're going to get to see our best wrestlers wrestle over and over and over again over the course of 2 days. So you guys need to come out and watch this, man. We don't get this opportunity very often. As Scott just said, last time was 2003. So, and listen, it's in Los Angeles. Who doesn't want to come to California? It's at the Los Angeles Forum where the Lakers used to play when it was Showtime. Magic Johnson and them's home court. It's in a great location, man. I'm excited for it.
The new Forum, $100 million newly renovated Forum, now owned by, of course, the Madison Square Garden. How special is that? It's always good to talk to you, DC. I'm looking forward to seeing you here in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, as we do it up right in L.A. You ready for it?
Yeah, Scott, I'm ready for it, man. I'm ready for the United States to win the World Cup again, man. Let's take this title home.
Let's do it, man. Much love to your family. Always good to talk to you, brother. I'll see you in L.A.
All right, Scott. Thank you.
That's DC, Daniel Cormier. He will be a